My Swisses and Switzerland lovers. Once upon a time there was a wild valley in Switzerland called Bavona. The river of the same name winds its way through the valley for over 19 kilometers. In summer, farmers live here with their animals in peace and harmony until June 2024. On this day, various parts of Switzerland were issued with severe weather warnings. The Bavona and Maggia Valley were particularly hard hit. Since then, the valley has been closed for over 9 months. Before Easter, the Bavona Valley was reopened to the public, and I wanted to see one of my favorite valleys in Ticino with my own eyes. When I heard that the valley was open again, I booked a few days in a Rustico in the Maggia Valley and made my way to Ticino. It was raining, but there were no heavy storms announced like last year, so I was looking forward for these rainy days.
Waterfall on the right!
As you can hear, my mood was good, and I decided to visit all the waterfalls I could think of. We found the first waterfall in Faido.
Rasta, let's go to the waterfall. Huh? The cascata we visit is in Faido and it's called Cascata Piumogna. And here it is. It's funny, the waterfall is not that full, huh? So I guess it was not raining a lot in this area. But you know, we will see so many waterfalls in this video. This is such a promise. Yeah. Hey Rasta, you finished your waterfall?
We went on. First, I wanted to take a quick look at the Verzasca Valley. This is before Locarno and Ascona and therefore made more sense. Perhaps you still remember these scenes? We certainly won't see any of those this time, but we will see the wild side of the Verzasca. The rain hardly stopped and we soon arrived in Lavertezzo. Normally, there are a lot more people here, but the weather must have put a lot of people off coming here. The Verzasca was not carrying as much water as I had expected. Perhaps it will look even more powerful tomorrow, as more rain is forecast for the night. Rasta and my partner accompany me this time, and because of the tarred road, Rasta has to wear his shoes again to protect his paws. By now, he's got used to it and only yawns when I put his shoes on.
Well, it's really rainy now, so I think we do a visit to the Valle Bavona or Lavizzara. Yeah, something like that.
So I was back down into the valley, through Locarno and almost the entire Maggia Valley. At a bend in a road, we found another waterfall which we had to visit straight away.
So, come on.
Rasta is not yet limited by his illness. He seems to have an unbroken joy of discovery, and we hope that his body can keep up with his mind for a long time to come.
Woo. Yeah, Rasta already knows this place. Rasta is so ready to swim. Podes go banda legal? I know. Ah, so huge. Rasta! Whee! Adrenaline.
Ticino is actually known as the sunshine region of Switzerland. But when it rains here, waterfalls come out of every hole. On the way towards Gevio, we saw dozens of waterfalls, many of which you don't see on a sunny day. Such rainy days are always something special for me, because I see the valley with a different face than usual.
So now we want to check if we can go into the Valle Bavona. Yeah, it's a lot of rain, so I'm not sure if we will go, but yeah, we will see. So now we are in the entry of Valle Bavona, and there is something written: bei starken Niederschlägen wird empfohlen, das Bavona-Tal nicht zu besuchen. Huh? Danger. In the event of heavy rainfall, it is recommended to not drive through the Bavona Valley. Okay. So we postpone it. Huh? Yeah, I think it's a bad idea to go now. And if you see sign spots like this, yeah, just don't go. We booked again our Rustico. Yeah, it's wet today, but Achtung, Stacke, slowly. Yeah, good boy. Yeah, a very nice Rustico with a very nice garden, which is very, very wet. Yeah, but I'm sure that we can do a barbecue at least at one evening. It is a very nice Rustico. Yeah, for 2 people, there's 1 bedroom upstairs. And living room here, very cozy. Yeah, I already did a little fire. I love fire. It's so cold outside. We have 14 degrees. Yeah, so yeah, now we chill a little bit. Kitchen. Yeah, cool, huh? I was so right with my feeling. Yeah, I just read on blick.ch that they closed the road to the Bavona Valley. Yeah, I don't know how long, but probably until Friday. Yeah, when there is no rain anymore. Yeah, good girl.
I left my 2 boys and Rustico for this excursion. My partner had another meeting, and so I left Rasta with him and set off again for Lavertezzo. Would the river look wilder today than yesterday?
There is so much more water in it since my last visit from, I don't know, 1 month ago. Crazy difference.
I am speechless. I know this river to be mostly gentle and calm and with its typical turquoise color, and today the Verzasca is so wild and so dangerous. I winter a little closer to the riverbed, but don't worry. I always carry a portion of caution in my backpack.
So this is the closest I will go to the Verzasca, because as you can see, the rocks are totally wet, and 1 wrong step and you're in, and you never come back again. So that's why I stay safe. But I can show you, I was standing there where the big rock is the last time. Yeah. And where I made this underwater stuff, you know. Such a big amount of water. Crazy.
I was very impressed by the masses of water and decided to take a short ride up to Sonogno, the last village in the Verzasca Valley. Sonogno is actually a popular excursion destination, but today it looks empty here. In this weather, you wouldn't even chase a dog out, not to mention a cat. Okay, but this cat doesn't look like it's out here voluntarily. There is a waterfall about 15 minutes above Sonogno. I'm pretty sure it looks very impressive in this weather.
Cascata di Froda.
By the way, these are all rusticis that you can rent. You can find them everywhere in the valleys, just in case you want to experience the real Ticino feeling.
And we will go up there now to the bridge. Everything is so wet.
And even though I was wearing a rain gear and had waterproofed everything, I was completely soaked. I felt like I was in a washing machine and I desperately wished I had a tumble dryer.
And this is how you look after this shower.
I converted my car into a tumbler and drove back to the Rustico in 30 degrees temperatures. At least my rain jacket was dry after this session. Back home, I did a bit of work and then we set off on another attempt into the Bavona Valley.
Yay! It's the first time without rain. Yeah, so I can capture some driving videos. Yeah, we try again to the Valle Bavona. Yeah, but I'm quite sure it's not possible today. And if not, we will postpone it for tomorrow. And if it's still closed tomorrow, we postpone it for the next trip here. Yeah, so it's all. That's nature. Keep your fingers crossed that we are able to go in. Okay, it looks good. It's not raining, so yeah, it's a small risk we take. Yeah, otherwise they would close the road, right? Yay, we're in. Oh, no. Yeah, they closed the road. Okay, the woman just told us that it's forbidden. She lives there. Yeah, so people with houses, yeah, they are allowed to go in, but there's a barrier, and that's why we cannot go. Maybe tomorrow. Stay tuned. So we go to Lavizzara, huh? It's another valley. It's just around the corner. So we go first to Brontallo, huh? I've never seen this waterfall before in Brontallo. Oh, crazy. Wow. Blue sky. I almost forgot how it looks like. Nice. They have some beautiful vineyards behind here, but I don't know if we are able to go through because there is probably a big waterfall. Yeah, which is normally not there, but today it's different. As I told you, there is a waterfall. Normally it is totally dry here. Yeah, because of the huge rainfall, it's now coming through here. Yeah, this is Brontallo. I love this little village. It is a very narrow road if you want to go up. Yeah, but there is also a bus driving up, so maybe, yeah, if you are afraid to drive by yourself, it's better you take the bus, huh? Chega. So now that was Brontallo, and now we go up the whole Valle Lavizzara to the last village, Fusio.
Lavizzara also belongs to the Valle Maggia district and is not quite as well known as the Bavona Valley. But more and more people are discovering this area too, because it has so many beautiful places. The route to Fusio, the last village in Lavizzara, is a long one. And the last section of the route is not for people who are afraid of narrow roads and bends. But here too, a bus runs from Jevio to Fusio. There is not much going on here either. The weather is probably spoiling the mood of some, so we drive a little higher up to the Lago del Sambucco dam. Unfortunately, I don't know this area at all. But according to Google, there are more lakes and lots of hiking opportunities far beyond the lake. So I might have to take a closer look the next time.
Ooh, Rasta, huh? What do you smell? Huh? Dale, up, up, up. There's no one here. And the grotto was closed, even though it was written aperto in the valley. Yeah, but because of this kind of weather, no one comes up.
You can even climb up the dam here. Would you do that? To give you a better idea of the dimensions, let's take to the air together.
So now we go back to Fusio, and I will try to fly with my drone. Yeah, when the weather hopefully stays like this. You never know today or these days. We will see.
I was lucky and the sun came out again for a few minutes. Then we were gently escorted out of Fusio. We drove back down the whole valley through Cevio and back to our Rustico.
We can finally enjoy our fireplace. Yeah, but new rain is coming in the next hour, so we will do a fire tomorrow. Carlo, Rasta.
We went to bed early to start our last attempt into the Bavona Valley the next morning. I was a bit nervous because I was desperately hoping that it would finally work out.
So now, keep your fingers crossed that we are finally able to enter into the Valle Bavona. It's not raining. We have a beautiful blue sky. So, wish me good luck. Drum rolls. The first step is done. But the barrier is behind these curves. Oh, come on, let me go in. Really? I can't believe it, but I think we enter now the Valle Bavona. Woohoo! So now I'm curious how it looks like, huh? Not everything has been damaged. There are only several parts, but these parts are really badly damaged. Yeah, it's already starting. I think this part has been hit worst. Wow, it looks totally different.
If you don't know the area, it's hard to imagine what it looked like before. I found an animation where you can see what the landscape looked like before and after the storms. I will include the link into the description, okay? For legal reasons, I cannot use the animation freely. Let's take a look at the area from above. Here, where you can see the stones now, everything used to be landscape and trees. Everything has been erased. And this is where the landslide came down and buried everything underneath it. This was once a beautiful stone bridge. This is what it looked like before the storm. Today, there is not much trace of this idol left, but events like this are a part of this valley. The inhabitants of the Bavona Valley have always lived with such forces of nature, even when this one was particularly terrible. With these nightmarish impressions, we drive further into the Bavona Valley. Again and again we drive through masses of scree until we finally arrive in one of my favorite villages, Sabbione. Ah, my heart sank. Sabbione still looks the same as before. For me, it's one of the most beautiful villages here in the valley.
I told Rasta that it is time for badele. Yeah, you are able to have fun, Rasta. Go for it. Yeah, it's good. Oh, Kneipp, Rasta. It's raining. Huh? That was the favorite place for Rasta in this valley. And now we go to my favorite place in this valley, to Foroglio. And it's not only my favorite place, it is well known by, many tourists. Because it's so beautiful. There is a beautiful waterfall there. So let's go. This is probably the most popular village in the Valle Bavona. It's Foroglio. Yeah, with this amazing waterfall.
It was still early, so we had Foroglio all to ourselves. Watch out when it's wet. The cobblestones are like soft soap and it's easy to slip, so be aware. We say goodbye to Foroglio and drive far into the Bavona Valley.
The landscape changed also here.
Most of the villages after Foroglio seemed to have survived the storm well. But the events do have a bit of an impact on our mood. It just goes to show once again that we can't do anything against the force of nature. We reached the last village of San Carlo. From here, the only way to continue to Robier is by cable car. But the cable car is not yet in operation, so this is the end of the line and time for a bit of fun for Rasta.
Rasta, time for badele.
After giving Rasta a treat, we headed back down to the entire Bavona Valley to Cevio and our Rustico. The weather was forgiving today, as it seemed to say, hey, everything will be fine again. Let's enjoy today. And we did. On our last evening, we were finally able to light a fire in our garden seating area and let our trip come to an end. Let's say, Carpe Diem.